We are at l'Institut Pascal in France, and we will talk about urban mobility. Maybe you can present yourself first.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Thapelo. I'm currently a postdoctoral fellow in University de Versailles, and my research project is more around increasing the participation of people with disability in several activities around the urban society.
Okay. And you're here for how many? For 1 year? How long is it?
I'm here until December.
December, okay.
That is normally how they structure the contract of the postdocs in France. Is only for 1 year.
Okay.
And perhaps after there can be renewal and so forth. Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible that you continue your research here.
It's possible.
Okay, so in regard of your discipline and your expertise, what is the inclusive city in relation to the mobility of individuals? Sorry.
Okay, I would say inclusive city will be a city that enables a participation of everyone without any limitation, and based on the kind of research that I do, which focuses mainly on individuals with reduced mobility, I would say that an inclusive city will be a city that would really encourage those kind of individuals to participate in activities that people without any disability or reduced mobility would be able to participate.
Okay, and what's your strategy to include? What kind of ideas you have about that? What's a better way or a good way to do that?
My strategy at the moment is to sort of include the emotional reaction of individuals with reduced mobility when they are exposed to these technological assistive devices. So what I would say my idea will be that this individual will be able to use these technological devices in order to assist them in having participation in all the activities of the city. But these technological assistive devices ought to not impact negatively on their emotional well-being and so forth. And
what kind of emotion do they have? Or,
Yeah,
because emotion is a very large
it's a very large
subject,
spectrum.
Spectrum.
I would say, for the moment, for the purpose of this interview, I would say maybe one can classify emotion into, 3 broad categories. You have your positive emotion, which will really indicate that the person is really happy or being able to maneuver around the city without any issues, or have a negative emotion whereby the person really sees the kind of technology that we deploy to assist them as an obstacle for them to be able to participate in all the activities. So my idea is to sort of, if the person experiences that kind of negativity towards the devices, how can we really maneuver the device in order to sort of stimulate positive reaction from that kind of...
So it's we're not trying to change the emotion. Yes.
Well,
we're trying to work with that emotion.
We are trying to, depending on the emotion that the person exhibits, we are really trying to sort of, how can I put, what's the English word, alter, or how can I put this?
Maybe you can give an example of a situation.
Okay, I can give an example of a situation. For example, let's say we are using sort of a wheelchair to enable the person to move, an electric wheelchair to enable the person to move around the city. But then normally on a slope, the person is going to have a predetermined speed that will be using on their wheelchair, but then on the slope, the slope will have the ability to really increase the speed of the wheelchair, because now the wheelchair will be in a free fall motion.
Okay.
In that kind of a context, the person will now have sort of fear and so forth, that they may collide and so forth. Those are kind of negative reaction that one can really refer to. So in that instance, what one would have to do is to sort of detect the emotional state of the person,
Okay.
and be able to augment in this example, able to augment the speed of the wheelchair in order for the person who's using the wheelchair to remain calm and be able to focus on what they need to do.
So it cope with anxiety too, maybe, or maybe not to that point, but
maybe to that
calm.
point, maybe to really to
relax.
calm the person.
Okay.
To sort of invoke condition in the assistive device that would really enable the person to remain calm. Okay. In the event that there is some abrupt changes in the condition.
And how do you approach that? Because it's a singular way to a specific person to calm. So see, I have to define that person will need that kind of stimulation or to be to achieve a state of calm, and so
that's one of the difficulties to personalize. That's one of the difficulties, because each and everyone has got different reference point of calmness and so forth.
Different
so
needs.
We really have exactly those are some of the challenges that we ought to look into in our research.
So it's really interesting, and you work with teams, or you go with an approach, an interdisciplinary approach to achieve that.
Well, I would say it's interdisciplinary approach, because we are also trying to solicit the opinions of the psychologists, the psychiatrists, in order to understand the emotional well-being of a human being, so that we are able to use those sort of data to manipulate our technological devices, because we are coming from a technological background.
Yes.
So we're trying to get other people who are more informed, so to say, on the emotions
on human.
Yeah, exactly.
More than machine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and what's your I like to use a word, maybe a dream or a goal to with your work. What like in 5 years or 10 years? What were the best way to?
That's a really difficult question, so to speak, because to answer that question, really, it's kind of complex for me, because I'm coming from a country whereby some of these things really are not the priority at the moment, and there are some basic priorities that have got to be covered first before we can look into this kind of research that I'm currently doing in France.
Yes.
So
what's your country?
Oh, I'm from South Africa.
Okay.
I'm from South Africa, and we've got our socio-economic challenges.
Yes.
Of which does not really encourage this sort of research that I'm currently doing in France. But then I would say once those are sort of sorted, or once those socio-economic problems are sort of sorted, whereby we can now get to a state whereby we have an urban societies whereby there are some mobility means. At that point I would really like to introduce the concept of really introducing people with reduced mobility into the planning and into the optimization of the cities that they have proposed to build in the near future.
So it's the goal of maybe to be more inclusive, start with a kind of I don't know how to do it because I cannot answer that question, but it's a kind of a dream of inclusivity, but of technology too, of change the paradigm of how we see impaired people too.
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly, exactly.
It's a cultural change.
It's more like a cultural
Yeah.
change because at the moment, people with disabilities are mostly stigmatized.
Yes.
Stigmatized. So we really have got to. And once, okay, if at the moment, like I'm saying, that those people are kind of stigmatized.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're stigmatized, you really don't want to engage into anything. So we are really trying to come up with means in order to enable those kind of people to engage with the general society and also engage in such a manner that they are as effective as any human being can be in their engagement with everyone.
So you working with an artifact could be a good way of encourage those more social, cultural changes.
Could be a means
because it's visible.
Yes.
There's like a solution made by you, and you can present that, and so it can fight stigmatized, maybe.
Yes,
something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So you have a lot of work to do.
There's a long way ahead, but we are hopeful that we'll be able to make some progress.
Yeah, you are passionate.
Yeah,
with that subject.
I really like the subject because I think it can have a lot of impact in building an inclusive society.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
We'll follow your work on the internet, maybe.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.